This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so yesterday we have discussed how to pass parameters to what smart forms. Okay, and based on that parameters, what we have done at the smart form level, we have declared some types of structure, internal tables, work areas, and then what else? We wrote the select statement at the smart form level for retrieving the sales document header data, item data, and we are displaying that. So to display that item data, since we need to display the internal table data as part of the window, we created the loop object. Okay, and as part of that loop object, we have associated the internal table and work area. Under that loop object, we have created the text element to display the content from the smart form. Okay, so if you go to smart forms T code, recap this yesterday's smart form. So we have passed only single parameter. So we know that a smart form is nothing but a function module. Okay, so how do you deal with the parameters to the function module? Through the import, export, changing tables parameters. So as part of this form interface, under the import section, we are passing one parameter. We are passing only one parameter. And then in the global definitions, we created the type structure, some internal table and work area. And as part of the initialization tab, we wrote the select query. Then as part of this main window, initially we created the text element. We displayed the header data first. Then we created the loop object. As part of the loop object, we specified the internal table and work area. Now to display the content from the work area, under the loop, we have created one more text object, text element. And as part of this text element, we are displaying the content from the work area referring to what? Item data. So this is what we have done yesterday. Okay. So we have passed what? Single parameter. We have passed a single parameter to what? A smart form. Now what I want is, let us see how to pass select options as parameters to what? A smart form. Already we know select options. What is a select option? A select option statement generates a selection screen for reading the range of what input values. For reading the range of input values. Okay. So we are in the driver program, we are going to read the range of sales document. Yesterday we have read only single sales document as input, and we are passing that sales document as what parameter. Today, as part of your print program, we need to read range of sales document as input. We have to pass that select option as a parameter to what smart form. Okay, and we already know a select option is a internal table. Based on the select option structure, we know that SAP creates one internal table with 4 fields: sign, option, low, and what? I. Sign, option, low, and I. Low will hold the lower limit, I will hold the upper limit. So basically, we have to pass select option as a parameter to what? Smart form. Okay, and based on this select option range of sales document, we have to get the item data. Okay, from VBAP table, we have to get the item data, like what are the fields: sales document number, item number, material number, and net price. And this is the output I want the smart form needs to be generated. What is that? We know that each sales document may have one or more line items. So we have to display the sales document. Suppose if you take this 4970, assume that it has got 3 line items: 10, 20, 30, material 1, material 2, material 3, and to display the price. At the end of that sales doc, document, I should do the sum of this net price. Then again, one more sales document, item data I have to display. At the end of the sales document items, I should display the sum of the net price of individual line items of that particular sales document. After completing all the sales document, I should display the grand total. Grand total. Okay, so this is what is the requirement. Right? So I need to pass what a range of sales document as a parameter to what smart form. Okay. So what I'll do is, since I have to read the range of, since I have to pass select option as a parameter, it has to carry the range of sales document. So if I go to VBAK table or VBAP table, the data element of the sales document in both the tables, we have the field VBLN. So VBLN, what is the data element? Veblen underscore VA. Veblen underscore VA is a what? Data element. Okay. So now what I'll do is I'll try to create one structure representing the select option structure. I'll try to create one global structure in SC11. Global structure, where do we create? In SC11. Nothing but database structure representing the range of what sales documents. So I'll go to Abap dictionary SC11. I'll try to create one global structure representing the select option structure. So I'll give the name of the structure as something the select option underscore sales document. Sales document. Okay, create. Understood? I mean, Abap dictionary SC11. I'll choose what structure, continue. Yeah, I'll give some description. And number range, sales document number range. Yeah, say I'll just give some description. What is the structure of the select option internal table? 4 fields. Sign, option, low, and what I. So I'll say sign. We have one predefined data element called as sign. Right? Similarly, I'll take option. We have a predefined data element option. Then low. Types, what is the data element I collected for sales document number? VBLN underscore VA. Then I types VBLN underscore VA. Created one dictionary structure. What is the structure? Sign, option, low, and what? I. Sign, option, low, and I. Done. So this low and I is referring to what? The data element related to sales document. Then as usual, I have to provide the enhancement category. Already we know all these things. Okay, so I'll go to extras menu, enhancement category menu item. That's all. Activate your dictionary structure, nothing but database structure. No syntax errors. Yeah, I got some warning. This is a warning. What is the warning I got? Field name option is reserved. Do not use the structure as including database table. So what is the warning is saying is, what is the structure we have created? In that structure, we have one of the field is option, which is reserved, it seems. So this structure should not be included in the database table. So already we know how to include structures in database table. We have to use dot include. Dot include. So it is saying that this structure should not be included in any of the database table. Any of we are not going to include. It's a warning. I can ignore. Activate your dictionary structure. That's it. So the dictionary structure is created. What is the name? Z select option underscore sales document. So why we created this structure is What is the agenda here? We have to pass range of sales document as parameter to what? Smartphone. Okay. So range means what? Nothing but we have to go for select option. That's why I created one structure referring to this particular what select option structure, which contains four fields: sign, option, low, and high. Done. It's activated. Now let us create the smart forms. I'll go to smart forms. Smart form name is CS form 3. Provide some in the form attributes. Provide some description. Then how do you pass parameters to the smart form? Through what? Form interface. Form interface. Yesterday, what we have done, in order to pass single value as a parameter, we have declared that parameter in the import section. Just like that, I can pass n number of values. Now we have to pass what? Range. We have to pass the select option as parameter, which is nothing but an internal table. So how do you deal with internal tables as parameters in function modules in the tables section? Through the tables section. So I'll go to tables tab. Understood? For individual parameters, we'll go for import. If you want to return anything, we'll go for export. If you want to deal with the internal tables as parameters to function models, we have to go by what? Tables. I'll go to tables, right? So here I'll give the import parameter. Generally will start with I underscore. Export parameter will start with E underscore. Tables, I'll start with some, you can give any name. I'll give it as T underscore something, T underscore what? S doc, some name I'll give. T underscore S doc. Okay. Here I'll say type. What is the select option structure I created? Z select option underscore sales document. Understood? This is the dictionary structure which I created in SC11, representing the structure of select option, which has got four fields: sign, option, low, and high. Low and high we are referring to what? Sales document data element. Okay, done. Okay, so try to save it. Check for the syntax error. Yeah, I got an error in the form interface. What is that? Only table types may be used as a reference type for what? Table parameter. So it is saying that in the tables you have to refer to what? Table type it seems. Already we know how to create the table type in SC11. So if you are referring to the table type, then you have to use the type keyword. If you are referring to the structure, you have to use like. Okay, I'll replace the type with like. Let me save it. Check for the syntax error. Yes, I don't have any error. Understood. So why I declare this parameter in the tables? Because a select option is nothing but what? An internal table. So how do you deal with the internal tables as parameters in function models? Through the tables section. If you want to deal with the individual parameters, we will specify in what? Import section. To deal with the internal tables as parameters, we will go for table. So what is the structure of this internal table? Nothing but the select option structure. Done. So I declare that. Now what is the requirement now? I have to get the item data based on this range of whatever you are passing. You have to get the item data. What are the fields we require? Sales document number, item number, material number, and net price. So I require an internal table. So how do you declare internal tables at the smart form level? Already we know, we have seen yesterday in the global definitions, in the types structure, right? In the type structure, I'll say types begin off ty underscore. I'll declare some fields VBAP, Veblen type VBAP hyphen, Veblen. I'll take another field item number type VBAP hyphen, material number type VBAP hyphen, VBAP-NET, close the structure, TY underscore VBA. So based on this, what I require? One internal table and work area. Save it, check for the syntax, go to global data. Here I'll declare internal table. It's a T underscore VBAP type table of. What is the structure I created? TY underscore VBAP. Then I'll declare a work area. W underscore VBAP type what? TY underscore VBAP. Make clear. So I declared an internal table and what? Work area. Done. Let me save it. Okay, so check for syntax and it's done. I declare the internal table and work area. Now I have to get the item data. So where do you write the select queries in the smart form? In the initialization tab, what is the input parameter? The input parameter is the parameter we are passing through tables section. What is that parameter? T underscore S doc. So in the initialization, I'll say T underscore what? S doc. What is the output parameter? We are going to get the item data into this internal table. What is that? T underscore VBA. So the output parameter is T underscore VBA. Let us write the select query here. Select VLN item material number net price VBAP into table. What is the internal table? T underscore VBAP, where we already we know how do you compare with select option? You have to use in operator. Na? If you are comparing with single value, we use equal to. If you are comparing with parameter, we use equal to. If you are comparing with internal select options, you have to use in operator. In what is the internal table? T underscore S dot. Select option nothing but what? An internal table. Save it, check for the syntax error. That's it. Okay, so any questions so far? So since I have to pass select option as a parameter to the smart form, initially I created the dictionary structure representing the select option structure, and that dictionary structure we are referring in the tables section. To deal with parameters, always you have to specify what? Form interface. Since you have to deal with the select option, which is the internal table, how do you deal with the internal tables as parameters in function model? Smart form is also what? Function model. So in the table section, I refer to, I use the like operator. If I use type, it is asking me to refer to the table type, but we are referring to a structure. So I have to replace with what like. So this is nothing but an internal table which is carrying the range of what? Sales document. Then I created one type structure with the required fields, one internal table work area. Then in the initialization tab, I specified the input parameter and the output parameter. We are getting the required data into the internal table based on the input parameter. So I got the data. What is the next agenda here? We need to display this particular internal table data T underscore VBA. Okay, we have to display in this particular format, but this format will focus later on. As of now, let us try to declare the internal table as it is. So by default, you will have one main window, right? In this main window, we have to display the content. So to display the content, we require the text element. But here I need to display what? What data? Internal table data. So in order to process the internal table in the smart form level, I need to create the loop object. So as part of this main window, right? As part of this main window, I'll say create what? Flow logic. What is this loop? Right click on the main window, create flow logic loop. Yeah. here in the loop object level, you have to specify the internal table. What is the T underscore VBAP into what is the work area? W underscore VBAP. So I specify the internal table and work area. So each record will come to work area. Na? From work area to display. So I require to display, I require text element. Na? So under this loop, I'll create what? One text element. So that this text element gets executed for every iteration. For every record of that loop, this text element needs to be processed. That is the reason I'm creating the text element as a child of what? Loop object. Make clear? That is the reason I have to right click on the loop object, create what? Text. Yeah, I'll give the text object name as something. I'll give the text object name. If you want to change it, you can change the name. I'll change it to something T1. I'll just say item data, something. Display the data from the fields. You have to enclose that field in what? Ampersand. Already we know. So I'll go to text editor. Right. I'll choose go to change editor. Right. What is this? Ampersand P underscore VB API hyphen weblen. What else? Ampersand W underscore VB API hyphen item number ampersand W underscore VB API hyphen material number ampersand W underscore VB API hyphen NETPR. So as I told you, to display the values of any fields in your smart form, that field you have to enclose in what? Ampersand. Whether you display smart form system field or your own field, you have to enclose it in what? Ampersand. That's all. Go back. So this text element T1 gets executed for every iteration of this particular loop. Save it. Right? Check for the syntax error. Activate your smart form. So whenever we activate the smart form, what happens? A function module gets what? Generated. So it is successfully activated. A function module might have been generated. We have the provision to test the smart form here only. Later on, we'll write the print program, but as of now, as a developer, I want to test whether my smart form is working or not. So I'll just click on the execute button. Yeah, this is a generated function model for our smart form. Click on execute. Yeah, we have one parameter now. Import while calling becomes export. Export becomes import. Tables remains what? Tables. So basically, it is a what? Internal table. So T underscore stock. Here I'll zero entries. I'll just click on this. I'll provide the value. What is the value for sign? I'll give I. For testing purpose, I'm giving I. Option is what? Between lower limit, I'll give it as something 1 to something 50. 1 to 50. Okay, this is the internal table I prepared. One entry. Execute this. Okay, as usual, I'll give LP01 print preview. Yeah, I got the data. Okay, sales document number, item number, material number, price. So if you see some of the sales document, yeah, if you see this 30 sales document, it has got two line items. Item number 10, item number 20. This is a material and this is a price. Okay, so some of the sales document has got what? Multiple line items. So even if you see this 46, it has got multiple line items. Done. Right. So we are able to test our smartphone up to this stage. Yeah. Any questions so far? Right. So what we'll do is we will develop the print program for this particular smartphone. Let us develop the print program. Okay. That is driver programs. I'll go to SC38. Recall is form 2. I'll copy this to 3. Recall is form 3. Right. So what is the signature of our smart form? Signature means what are the parameters of our smart form? It has got one internal table as a parameter. Anything you specify in the tables is nothing but what? An internal table. What is the structure of the internal table? Range of what? Sales document. So let me read range of sales document as a parameter. So I'll say data. Else already we know how to declare the select option. Okay. VB AP hyphen weblen. Then I'll say select options. Right. SO underscore weblen for V underscore web. The select option. Then what you have to do next step, we have to get the smart form function model. How do you get the smart form function model name dynamically? We have to call the function model SSF underscore function underscore module underscore name form name. I'll give the form name as CS form 3. It returns the associated function model. So rest of the process same. If it is not initial, I have to call the smart form. What is the signature of the smart form function model? Yesterday we had the parameter in the import. So while calling becomes export. Now we have in tables nothing but internal table. So tables while calling remains what? Table. So here also I have to pass the parameter. What is that? Call functions also. Instead of exporting, I have to say what? Tables. Tables. What is the parameter name at the smart form level? T underscore S doc. T underscore S doc. So I'll say T underscore S doc. Nothing but select option internal table. What is the select option in your case? SO underscore webline. That's all. Okay, we are reading the range of sales document as input and we are getting the smart form function model and we are invoking that particular smart form function model by passing the necessary parameter. What is the signature of our smart form? In the form interface, this is the parameter. Understood? Which is mandatory by default. So I'm passing that particular parameter. Okay, let me save it. Check for the syntax error. So tables while calling remains what? Tables. Import becomes export, export becomes import. Activate your driver program, execute this. I'll give the range as something 1 to 50. Execute. Yes, we are getting the output device LP01 print. I got the required result. I got the required result. Yeah, any questions here? So we have seen how to pass select option as parameter to smart form. So what is the process? First, you have to create the dictionary structure representing the select option structure. So I created one dictionary structure representing the select option structure. To what data element this low and high should refer? I am referring to what? Sales document data element because I have to pass what? Range of sales document. If you want to pass range of customers, you have to refer to the data element of customer. So I created this structure, then I created the smart form. And while as part of the smart form in the tables section, you have to declare this. Why tables means? Because I have to pass select option as a parameter, which is nothing but a internal table. How do you deal with the internal tables as parameters to function model? Through the tables section. So I declare that in the table section. So I can call this parameter as a internal table. So that's what I have done the requirements.
Sir, I have one doubt.
Yeah.
So in global structure, could you please open that once?
Okay.
In S11, their data element VBLN underscore V we didn't declare no, sir.
This is the standard data element I'm using. Data elements are reusable, right? So in VBAK or VBAP table, the sales document number field is I what data element.
Okay, okay, sir.
This is the standard data element which I'm using.
Okay, sir.
Similarly, this sign and option are also standard data elements given by SAP. These data elements also I have not created. They are not starting with Z or Y. No? So these are the standard data elements which I am reusing. Okay. If you want to pass range of employee numbers as input, in your table, your employee number field will have a data element. You refer to that data. Like that, you have to proceed. Either I can refer to the standard data element or our own data element. Depending on the requirement, you have to refer.
Sir, can we declare this structure in a smart form itself?
Which structure?
This one.
No. Here, when you are referring here, yesterday what we did in the input section, I gave the parameter type table name hyphen field name. It will refer to the table field. Here also, in the tables, if I am referring to something, this should be available globally. Just like yesterday, we referred to what VBAK-WebLen. VBAK is a global structure. In that, we are referring to WebLen. Here also, whatever we are referring here, it should be either direct data type, means either I should refer to integer character directly or refer to the existing data elements or existing structure. They should be defined globally, not local. Right?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, any other questions?
So why do we use two function modules in programs, sir?
Where in program? Yeah, already I told you, na? What is the purpose of this function model? Yes, already I covered this in the last two sessions also. This function, whenever we
We can,
activate the smart farm, sorry,
we can call dynamically.
yeah, this is for getting the smart farm function dynamically. If you activate the smart farm, it has generated some function module. This is the function model, right? SF0003. If I directly call like this, if I directly call the function model and pass this parameter, it will work. It will work. Understood? I can directly call it. Suppose here I'll choose the environment. Sorry, not here. In the smart form level, this is the function model which got generated. I can directly call it. Control C. Okay, without calling this, I'm commenting this. I can directly go to pattern. I'm calling the function model, right? I don't have any export parameters. In the tables, we have one mandatory parameter, t underscore s dot equal to what is that parameter so underscore webland, and you handle the exceptions. We already know how to handle the. Okay, so I can directly do it in one step like this. But when I execute, the range 1 to 50. Okay, I'll give LP01. I got the required data. Okay, working fine. Okay. but already I covered the disadvantage of this approach. What is the disadvantage? If you transport this program, make clear, if you transport this program to the quality system, in the quality system, when you try to execute this, okay, it will check for this function model in that quality system. This function model will not be available in what? Quality system. This function model got developed, got generated on behalf of your smartphone in the development system. So when I transport this program to the quality system and if the tester is executing this program in the quality system, you will get a runtime error saying that this function model is not available because this function model is generated on behalf of your smartphone in the development system, right? This function model, this generated function model will not be available in all the systems, quality and production systems. So it will give an error saying that not available. Make clear. That is the reason what you are doing here. We are getting the smartphone function model dynamically. We are passing the smartphone name as parameter. It will return the associated what function model dynamically. Okay, so if I execute this program in the development system, what are the function model available in the development system, it will return that particular function model. If I execute the same program in the quality system, in the quality system also will activate the smartphone. So there also some function model gets generated. We don't know what is that. But it will dynamically fetch that particular function model in the quality system. Same is the case in the production system. That is the reason we should never hard code the smartphone function model directly. Yeah, is it clear, Famishri?
Yes, sir.
This is very important, which I covered in the first session itself. Okay, I can directly call it, we are getting the output, but the problem is that if you transport this object to the quality and production system, in the quality and production system, this function model will not be available. It is generated in the development system on behalf of your smartphone, right? When you activate the smartphone in the quality and production system, the function model name will be different. In the quality and production system. So dynamically, I have to fetch that particular function model. If I execute this program in the development, it would return some function model. If I execute the same program in the quality and production system, it would return some other function model. So irrespective of that, we have received it and we are calling it. Yeah, any other questions? So what is our agenda here? To display the output like this, no? Sales document number, and below that I have to display the corresponding item data. But if you see this output, if I give what 1 to something and execute, okay, so most of the sales documents are having only one item. But if you see some of the sales document like 30, it has got two items, not 10 and 20. Am I clear? So my requirement is the sales document number should be displayed separately. Underneath sales document, I should display the corresponding what? Items. I should display the corresponding items. So see what I'll do. See the changes that I'll do in the smart form level. So this is the smart form. What we are doing as of now, just we are creating the loop object. We are displaying the item data. Okay, so what I'll do is observe this carefully. As part of this loop, in the item, in this text element T1, I'm displaying all the 4 fields. No? So for every record, this 4 field values will get displayed. But I have to display the sales document number separately under that corresponding items. So what I'll do is, as part of the loop object, you can see there is a checkbox here. What is this? event on sort begin. Event on sort begin. So in our reporting, we have an event called as attenuate. Similar to attenuate event, here also we have what? Event on sort begin. Understood? So what is that I want? Suppose if you take this 4970, it has got how many items? 3 items. It has got 3 items. So this sales document number should be displayed only what? 1. Means whenever a new sales document number is encountered, I have to display the sales document. Okay, and for the all the line items, we should display only the item data. Again, whenever a new sales document is encountered, again we have to display the sales document. So keeping this in mind, observe here. Where in the loop I specified the internal work area. So here at the loop object level, I'll give the field name as W underscore VBAP hyphen what? Weblen, or simply I can say Weblen. I'll simply say Weblen because we are in the loop only. So each record will come to work area. So whenever this Weblen is in, I'll select the checkbox what? Event on sort begin. Observe here. The moment I select this checkbox event on sort begin, one node gets created here. Under this loop, one node gets created. See this. I'll select the checkbox event on sort begin. The moment I select, what happens? Yes, one node got created. Event on sort begin. Whenever a new sales document begins, this will be triggered. This event would be triggered. So whenever a new sales document is encountered, I should display the sales document number. Na? So what I'll do as part of this event on sort begin, as part of this, understood what I did? As part of the loop object, I specified that field name as Weblen because for every new Weblen, I should display the sales document number. So I selected this checkbox. The moment I select, I got this node created. So under this node, I'll right click on event on sort begin. I'll say create what? Text. Yeah, I'll give the, let me keep it as text one only. Here what I'll do is, here I'll display that sales document. See the change. I'll go to the editor, go to change editor, and say sales document number. What is the field which is referring to that? W underscore VBAP hyphen what? Weblen. Okay, done. So whenever a new sales document number begins, this event gets triggered. Under this event, it will display the sales document number here. Again, this T1 also gets executed for every iteration of the loop because this T1 is a child of what? Loop. So under this T1, again I will not display the sales document number. Already I displayed the sales document number whenever a new sales document number begins. So I'll go to this T1 and remove this Weblen because already we are displaying that Weblen. Go to change editor. So here I'll remove this. Okay, let me just give space like this. Yeah. Okay, let's see what is the change. Save it. Check for the syntax error. Activate this. Activate your smartphone. Done, it is activated. So what is the change I did? As part of the loop object, each record will come to work area. Here I gave the field name as Weblen and I selected this checkbox event on sort begin. The moment I select this, what happens? This node gets created. This event gets triggered whenever a new Weblen is encountered. The beginning of every Weblen. Suppose we have the sales document number 30. 2 times it gets repeated because we have 2 line items. Only once this event will be triggered. So whenever this event is triggered, I am displaying the corresponding what? Sales document. So under this Weblen, I created one text object. And I'm displaying the sales document number. In the general attributes tab, I'm displaying the sales document number. That's all. So already activated now. Let me execute this program. And I'll go back to the driver program. Let me execute. Okay, I'll do one thing. Let me give the default values here. Default, it's a character field, so also 1 to 100. In your system also you check the data. Based on that you give the range 4980 to 4990, something like that. Execute. Yeah, LP01. You can see it. Sales document number 1. Under that we have only one item. Scroll down. So if you see the sales document number 30, yeah, 30, you can see sales document number 30. How many pages it has generated? 2 pages. One of two. 2 pages getting what? Generated. Okay. So it might be extended to the next page. It is extended to the next page. So it's a page down. I can see. Observe this carefully. So in the second page, sales document number 30, you can see 10 and 20. Similarly, if you see 46 sales document number 46, it has got 2 line items. 45 also has got 2 line items. So only once the sales document is what getting displayed. That is what is my expectation. I have to display the sales document. I have to display the corresponding item data. So what is the only adjustment I did? As part of my smart form level, in the loop object itself, I gave the field name. I selected this checkbox. This event got triggered. Under this event, I created the text. Yeah. Any queries so far? Similarly, what is the next requirement? At the end of every sales document, I should do the sum total of these items. Suppose if you take 4970, it has got 3 line items. 1000 plus 500 plus 800, 2300. So what I have to do is I have to do the subtotal of this particular net price. So for that, what I'll do, I'll go to global definitions. I'll declare a variable for holding that subtotal. So I'll say something v underscore s total, something VB API for net price. I have to do the sum of what? Net price only. So we have to refer to which field? Net price. Clear? VB API for net price. I declared this particular field. So what I have to do here? I have to do the sum total of that. Okay, I have to do the sum total of this. So see what I do. When I have to do the sum total, when I have to display that sum total at the end of what? That particular sales document. But if the sales document is having multiple line items, I should do the sum of that net price of each of the line item. So what I'll do is observe here. For every iteration, right, under the loop object, yeah, under the loop object, yeah, for every iteration I should do the sum total. So what I'll do is under this loop, I'll right click, create. I have to write some ABAP code. Okay, how do you write the ABAP code here? For every iteration, I should do the sum total, subtotal, sum of the subtotal. So I'll right click on the loop. I'll right click on the loop. I'll say create. I'll write the ABAP code now. So to write the ABAP code, we have to go for what? Creating program lines, which will create what? Code objects. Which will create what? Code object. Understood? So if I say create, where I am creating under loop, so you can see it. One code object got created. This code object got created under what? Loop. Means this code object gets executed for every iteration. Okay. So input parameter is what? Input parameter is your subtotal. V underscore what? Output parameter, nothing I need not specify. Yeah. Here I'll say V underscore subtotal equal to V underscore subtotal plus, we are in the loop only. Na? Each record will come to that VB API hyphen. What is that field? I have to do the sum net price. Make clear. V underscore subtotal equal to V underscore subtotal plus so on. So for every record of this loop, For every record of this loop, this code object gets executed. So subtotal equal to subtotal plus so on. So let me check whether I'll get any issue here. Check for the syntax. Yeah, I'm getting an error. It is unknown. Oh, it is saying unknown. Yeah, in the loop only, no? Might be I have to specify that in input parameter. So I'll say w underscore what? Save it. Check for the syntax error. Yeah, I don't have any errors. I specified that in the input parameter. Done. Activate. I don't have any errors. So v underscore subtotal equal to subtotal plus so on. So when we have to display that subtotal at the end of every sales document, so what I'll do is, again, see this carefully. In the loop object only, you can see there is one more checkbox, event on sort end. This is at the beginning of every sales document. And similarly, I want what? End of sales document. So the moment I select this checkbox, see what happens. One more event gets created. I'll select the checkbox event on sort end. I can see it. E-Webland got created. Event on sorted. So at the end of every sales document, what I have to do? I have to display the subtotal. So for displaying the subtotal, understood? For displaying the subtotal, I require what? Text object. So right click on this, create what? Text object. Text object got created. Under this text object, I'll try to display the subtotal. So I'll say yeah, here I'll say go to child editor. I'll say something subtotal is ampersand. What is that? V underscore subtotal. That's all. V underscore subtotal. Go back. So after displaying the subtotal, when the subtotal gets displayed at the end of every weblen, after displaying the subtotal, I set it to 0 again, because again new sales document will start. Again I have to start 0 plus this 1000, again 1000 plus 2000. Again I have to set it to what? 0. Understood? I have to clear the value of what? Subtotal. Once it has displayed the subtotal of that particular sales document, for the next sales document, again it has to start from 0 now. So I have to clear that old value. So what I'll do, I have to write the logic for that. Okay. Understood? Under this event on sort end, after displaying, I'll right click, say create. How do you write the ABAP code? Program lines. Yeah, one code object got created. This code object, when it has to execute this code object, yeah, when it has to execute this code object, after displaying the subtotal, so I'll interchange the positions. I'll drag this code under this state, after this state. So first in the text object, we are displaying the subtotal. In the code object here, yeah, what is the input? V underscore what? V underscore subtotal. I'll clear the value. How do you clear the variable values? Clear V underscore subtotal. Understood? So that you set it back towards 0. Default value. Save it. Check for the syntax. Activate. Understood? If I don't clear, what happens? 2300 plus 1000 it becomes. I have to clear after displaying the subtotal. After end of every sales document, what I am doing in the text object here, in the general attributes, we are displaying the subtotal value. After displaying the subtotal value for that particular sales document, I need to clear that value. So to clear that value, I have to write the ABAP code. So you have to create the program lines, a code object gets created. It got created at the beginning, so I interchange the positions. First it has to execute this text object for displaying the subtotal. After that, it has to clear the value of subtotal. Done. Save it. Check for the syntax error. Yeah, I got an error. V underscore subtotal has no defined value. So if you get this kind of warnings, go to global definitions. In the initialization tab, okay, you try to initialize it to what 0 to avoid this kind of what warnings. Here I'll say v underscore what total equal to 0, and you try to return that. Save it. Check for the syntax error, no errors, activate this. So it is initialized to 0 and I'm returning that 0. So done. Execute this. Right? If I execute this, LP01. Yeah, if you any of these sales documents are what having only one line item. So see here, line item 1, item number 10, material 900. Over 2, what is the here also 900. So understood, what is the subtotal I got at 900? If I don't clear 900 plus 900 what? 1800 becomes. Let me try to show you that. I will not create the code object at the smart form level, right? At the smart form level, I'll just try to remove this one. I'll say delete. I deleted the code object. After displaying the subtotal, I'm not clearing that. I deleted that. So see what is the issue? Check for the syntax error. Activate this. Then it is activated. When I execute, LP01, print preview. I can see, observe this carefully. For the first sales document, we have only one item. What is the price here? 900. But I got subtotal 900. Second sales document also price is 900. 900 plus 900, how much it has become? 1800. 1800 plus again 900. 2000. So it is adding the subtotal of the previous sales document items also now. That is the reason I need to clear. Make clear. That is the reason I need to clear. When I have to clear? After displaying that particular subtotal. So what I did here? Event on sort end. At the end of every sales document, this text object gets executed. So to clear that, I'll right click on this event on sort end, create flow logic. What is this? Program lines. So this code object is created the first element now. So I'll just interchange the position, just drag and drop. So that first it will display this text object for displaying the subtotal. Then in the code, here you say v underscore input value is subtotal. Anyway, I'm clearing that. Clear what? V underscore subtotal. That cleared value I have to return it. Output parameter v underscore subtotal. That. Save it. Check for the syntax error. Activate this. Yeah. Any questions up to this? Okay. Similarly, I should display the grand total. After end of every sales document, I should display the grand total. So I require one more variable. I'll go to global definitions. I'll say v underscore g total grand total type vbap hyphen net pr. Save it. Check for the syntax error. Activate this. Okay. So I declared what? One variable. So what I'll do now? Here only I'm clearing now. So before I clear, I'll say v underscore input parameter is grand total. Output parameter also v underscore grand total. So what I'll do before I clear, somewhere here I'll say v underscore grand total equal to v underscore what? Grand total plus this subtotal. So that we are performing the grand total. Done. Save it. Check for the syntax. Activate this. Then it is activated. We have to display this grand total. When we have to display this grand total after completing all the sales documents, after this loop, I have to display that particular grand total. So after the loop, not under the loop. So what I'll do, I'll right click on the main window, create what? text element. Okay, so when this text element has to be executed after the loop for displaying the grand total. So I'll just drag and drop this text 3 after loop. When I try to drag and text 3 under after this loop, it is asking me, do you want to drag it under the node or after the node? If I say under the node, what happens? For every iteration, the text element gets executed. But I want the grand total after completing the loop. So I'll say after the node. Understood? So here I'll display the grand total. Just go to this. Okay, go to what? Change editor. It's a grand total. V underscore grand total. Go back. Save it. Check for the syntax error. So when this text element gets executed after the loop, so within the loop, what you are doing? We are performing that grand total before clearing this subtotal. What are the previous subtotal is there that I am assigning it to what? Appending it to what? Grand total. Okay, done. But here also I got the same error as no defined value. So how do you correct these errors? Go to initialization tab. Here you set that to 0. V underscore grand total initialized to what? 0. You return that output in the output section. V underscore grand. Check for the syntax error. Activate your smartphone. Yes, it got activated. Execute this. Okay, LP01. Yes, we can see how many pages generated. Page 3 pages. Page down. Page down. In the last page, somewhere in the last page, what is the grand total I got? Something 451295. So it is doing the sum of all the line items of all the sales. How to display it in the tabular format, we'll discuss in the tomorrow's session. So this is about the whole requirements. I have done it part by part. I have not done it at a time. So when you're practicing, you also do it in the same. And some of you have sent a mail for yesterday's recording not playing. It's not in my hand, but what I did is today, early morning, I have reshared it to everyone once again. Just check it after half an hour. I think you should be able to play it. The last 2 videos again I've re-uploaded today morning. Okay, just check it after 1 hour or so. Yeah, any questions, please ask. Done? Working now? Okay, fine. Thank you, Ashish. It seems that videos are working now, it seems. So please check it. So sometime you'll have the issue in that drive itself. It's not in my hand. So if any issues there, please let me know and reshare it. Once it start playing, again you will not have a problem. Only for the first time you may have the issues. Okay, chalo. So thank you everyone. We'll meet tomorrow. Go through this. If any questions, you can ask me tomorrow also.